modern circus in London in about 1770. He gave horse displays accompanied by acrobats, musicians, and clowns. Astley found that his horses performed best in a circular place, so he enclosed his performance area by a ring. Astley called his show a riding school, a rival show set up by Charles Huss in 1782, called the Royal Circus, was the first to use the word circus in the title. Following this, the idea of circus performed in a ring spread to Europe and North America. A Londoner, John Bill Ricketts, set up the first circus in America. His circus followed the now established pattern of using performing horses and riders, acrobats, and a clown, but was the first to travel from town to town. Horses were the mainstay of the early circus performance, but gradually other animals were introduced. The animal trainer Isaac van Amberg was said to be the first man to put his head inside a lion's mouth. America's first elephant arrived in 1796.
Good. Okay, so you know those years there, 1796, you actually pronounce it as 1796. 1782 and 1770. That's how you pronounce the years. So you can see they were hundreds of years ago. So right now we're in 2020. So the year 2020. So this was going back to 1796. So a good few hundred years ago. Okay. Good. And Inaya, if you carry on the last 3 paragraphs on that side.
Among the first travelling circuses was that of Aaron Turner. In about 1830, it began performing outdoors under what may have been the first circus tent or big top. Turner's tent was 28 meters across, providing space for a few hundred wooden seats, which could be dismantled and moved in a horse-drawn wagon. Travelling menageries, collections of animals, were popular about the same time. By 1860, the menagerie had become part of every circus. The circus was often presented in 2 tents, one for a variety of circus acts, and a second reserved for the display of animals. Special wagons had to be built. The giraffe, for example, required a tall, padded wagon in order to protect its neck during transportation. The hippopotamus had a large tank of water built inside its wagon. In 1871, P.T. Barnum formed a circus that was billed as the greatest show on earth. He purchased 65 railway carriages and became the first to transport his equipment, performers, and animals on his own railway train. Other American circuses soon followed this idea, as it was much easier than using horse-drawn transport.
Okay, well done, Inaya. Good reading. And we've got last 4 sections for Janet to start reading. Go ahead, Janet.
Clowns. Since the early days of the circus, clowns have been a major attraction, adding variety and humor to the show. When circus tents were small, the clowns entertained as singing and talking comedians. By 1870, circus tents had grown so large that not all the spectators
could hear the clowns' voices. Since that time, most clowns have mimed. The circus ring. Although circuses have changed in many ways over the years, the ring itself is still the same size in every land, 13 meters across. The circus program has generally remained unchanged. Also, a traditional circus usually includes clowns, jugglers, horse, acts, and acrobats. Wild animals acts are now less popular than they once were. Famous animals. Jumbo the elephant was among the main attractions of the Barnum and London Circus from 1882 until 1885, when he struck and killed by a railway engine. His name has now come to mean anything big, such as jumbo jets or jumbo sausages. Famous performers. Many performers became famous by the unusual nature of their acts. In 1897, Alan the human arrow was the first to be shot through the air from a giant crossbow. Audiences were startled by Zucchini family's human cannonball act, in which a family member was shot from a cannon and landed in a net.
Okay, good. Good reading, all three of you. Well done. Let's just answer some of these questions and go through them. So I'm just going to unmute all three of you. Okay, Janet, as you're here right now, so Philip Ashley started the modern circus in London in about what year?
(1782).
Look at the first paragraph.
(1770).
Okay, so he started the circus, Philip Ashley, in 1770. Good. And Inaya? He gave horse displays accompanied by acrobats, musicians, and what else?
A clown.
A clown. Okay, well done. It's good. And Iman? Charles Hughes first used the word something in 1782.
Circus.
Circus, yeah, that's the first time the word circus was used, in 1782. And Jenna, the American circus first saw something in 1796. So the American circus first saw something in 1796. What was it, do you think?
Elephant.
Okay, good. Elephant it is. And Inaya, Aaron Turner had the first circus tent called a what in 1830? So Aaron Turner had the first circus tent called a what? So what did he call the first circus tent?
Oh,
in
Big Top.
Big Top, yes. Good. And Iman, just read this question.
In 1871, Barnum's Greatest Show on Earth was the first circus to travel by train, as it was much easier than using horse-drawn transport. Other American circuses soon followed this idea.
So what did he use?
A train.
Train, yeah. That's good. And who's next, Janet? The word circus has its origins in the Spanish language. So the word, okay, good. And Inaya, why did Philip Ashley hold his performances in a ring? Why did Philip Ashley hold his performances in a ring?
I remember doing this one for the homework and I got it wrong.
Okay.
So I'm not.
Okay, I'll help you with this one. So the reason was because, you know, horses, they actually perform better in a circular place. So they will just run round and round and round. And they found that that was actually easier. And that's why they started off with a circular ring. Okay. And Iman, Isaac van Amberg was the first man. Sorry, can you not interrupt when I'm talking? Isaac van Amberg is head in line. Mouth. True or false?
True.
Is that true or false?
True.
Okay, there's something wrong with your audio, I think, but that's true.
That's what I was saying.
Just go on to the next. Okay, thanks. I got that. It's a little bit delayed. Your voice was a bit delayed. What is a menagerie? This is a word that Inaya was trying to pronounce, so it was quite difficult. Janet, is that your turn?
Yeah.
What's a menagerie?
A collection of animals.
Collection of animals, yeah, that's right. Well done. And Inaya, why do you think P.T. Burnham called his circus the greatest show on earth?
I can't see the answers. Oh, there we go. C.
Have you seen The Great Show on Earth? It's a movie about a circus. Have you seen it? That's all?
Oh, the great, yeah.
Oh no, sorry. It's called The Great Showman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Good.
Yeah.
Good. We've seen it as well. So it's really interesting. So next one is, what does the word mime mean? And I think it's Janet's turn now. What does the word mime mean?
It's my turn.
Oh, sorry, Iman. Go ahead.
C. Wait, no. B.
To act without speaking. Correct. And Janet, what does a traditional circus program usually include? Traditional circus program. What does it actually include? Like most circuses, what do they include?
Clowns, jugglers, horse acts, and acrobats. So D.
Yeah, well done. And 2 more questions to go. And Inaya, why do you think wild animal acts are less popular than they once were in the past?
I'm not sure, but is it B?
Not quite. I'll tell you why. Because you know, in circuses, and I'm not sure if you've ever been to a circus, but I have when I was young. And I remember in this one circus I went to with my father, there were lots of lions, lots of tigers, lots of horses, lots of elephants. And the circus staff had whips, and they would whip them to move or to run or to jump through a hoop. And that's cruel. And in the olden days, obviously, entertainment wasn't, in the olden days, you didn't have cinemas, you didn't have like posh restaurants, you didn't have clubs and so on. You know, you only had circuses that a family could go to enjoy themselves. And this is the first time that people had ever seen wild animals in their lives. And that's why in the olden days, circuses were very popular. There was no TV in those days. But now, because we're all aware of the certain issues in the world, people are more aware of the issues of animal cruelty and conservation. Conservation means how to protect animals. So having animals in a circus is actually quite cruel because they're not kept in good conditions, very cruel conditions sometimes. They don't have any freedom. They can't move around. They're just locked up in cages and they're whipped into performing and taking action. Is that okay? Okay. Let's go to the next one. I think it's Iman. Why do you think audiences were startled by the Zachinchi family's human cannonball act?
B.
Yeah,
People
so
never saw a cannon shooting a man.
that's right. So what happened was there's a big cannon and they would put a man inside that cannon and they would light the cannon and this man would go flying across the circus tent. And that was astonishing. That was like incredible for the people there to actually see that. So B is correct. Well done. Good. Any questions any 3 of you have on circuses or this topic that we just did? Anybody been to a circus?
No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they're not very common now. Used to be very popular when I was young, especially, so they're not very common now. A lot of big circuses have already actually closed down now. So, which there's not much demand. I mean, they probably have circuses in some developing countries, like Africa, Asia, and other countries, but they're not very common here. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So we're doing conventional English.
Was there a second homework?
There was this one. Did you not do this?
No. We
No,
only
you?
saw
No.
comprehension.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, the only one you gave.
Okay, just bear with me a second. Okay, yeah, there was just one, the history of circus. So this is the next one that can also be done. And in fact, we can actually do this now because it's quite a simple one as well. Okay, so complete the following phrase with a singular verb. So in conventional English, all sentences contain a noun, pronoun, or a verb. So if the noun or pronoun is singular, you must use the singular verb. If the noun or pronoun is plural, you must use the plural verb form. So we touched on this before, something that was outstanding. So the first one, Janet, what would make sense?
Run.
So I run will make sense. Good. And Inaya?
She tried. D.
The word tried there is not spelt properly. That's the only problem.
Oh. B.
Yeah. So she tries. That's right. Anyone?
The man sings.
Yep. Good. And Jenna?
The girl swims.
That's correct, because the girl swimming, the girl swim, the girl swimmed doesn't make sense. So the girl swims is correct. And
The birds fly. D.
yep, well done. Iman?
They wash. E.
They wash. That's right, well done. And Janet?
The boys sleep.
Yep, that's correct. And Inaya?
The teacher. A.
The teacher marks the books. Correct. Good. And Iman?
The cat chase. Wait, the cats chase the mouse. B.
The cats chase the mouse is correct. Janet?
The boy reads the books.
The boy reads the book. Is that what you said? Did you say that, Janet?
At the end, I did an S after book.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Don't worry, as long as the answer's right. And Inaya?
The horses eat the grass.
Yes, the horses eat the grass. That's correct. Come on.
My brother plays football.
My brother plays football is correct. Well done. Janet?
The girls walk home from school.
The girls walk home from school is correct. And Inaya?
The trains were late. B.
The trains were late. B is correct. And Janet, the last one?
It's my turn.
Yeah, I always forget you, Iman.
The shop was shut. A.
The shop was shut, or the shops was shut. So A is correct. The shop was shut. Okay, well done.
100%.
Yeah, good. Yeah. The next one, what you're going to do for homework, I'll show you this now. You're going to do comparing and ordering decimals, which is this one here. You probably can't hear that. So I just want you to do the first question for me, all three of you. Just work it out on your piece of paper, whatever you have there. And the numbers in the box are not in correct order. Select the correct order from the options starting with the smallest. So what you're going to do is, you're going to start with the smallest and make the decimals bigger, and then come up with 7 numbers in order, smallest to biggest, please. You can do that now. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Write that down as well. Okay, all done? So, anybody want to volunteer? Okay, let's try Janet first of all.
I think it's going to be B.
And Iman, which one do you think it's going to be?
C.
And Inaya?
C.
Crikey, all three of you come up with separate answers. That means now I have to get involved and see which one is right. Okay, let me just write this down then, first of all, make it easier. All right. First of all, we look at the first number. Now, in this case, we know all the first numbers are exactly the same. There's 6. Let's look at the second number now. Remember, we're going from smallest to biggest. Let's look at the second number. So the second smallest number is 0. So I would write 6.095. Cancel that out. The next second smallest number is 1. So cancel that out. 6.198. It doesn't matter how long the number is. If the first numbers are the same, have a look at the second numbers. Now let's look at the third number. The third number from what I can see is this one here, 5. So 6.59. The next one is this one, 6. 6.625. Cross that out. Next one is this one because it's 6.85. Now we've got two numbers that are exactly the same, that start with 6, then there's a decimal, and they also have 9 as a second number. So now we're going to look at the third number because the first number and the second number are both exactly the same. So, but this number doesn't have a third number. That means 6.9 will be smaller. and then 6.93 will be bigger. So let's see which option that is. So 6.095, 6.198, 6.59, 6.625, 6.85, 6.9. I think it's C. Who said C? Okay. Didn't you say D? And
I said C.
oh, you said C as well. Okay. Very good. So C is the correct answer, and that's how you work it out. Put the numbers in order. Does that make sense, Janet? Sure. So the first number, if it's the same, go on to the second number. Second number, if it's the same, go on to the third number. All right.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. All right, good. So we've done conventional English. We've also done the comprehension, which was the circus. Talking about the circus, it was very similar to that movie that we were talking about, The Great Showman, because this man was trying to start a circus. They had all these wild acts and wild people there, actually, more than animals as well. But in those days, circuses were very, very popular. But now you don't see them as much. And in fact, the biggest circus in the world, which was this one, the Big Top Circus, only just closed its doors last year for the first time. You hear that?